Excellent speakers are not born. They are developed over time and they have a will to become good. Therefore, they are prepared to put in the work to proffer a professional presentation. Seeing is believing. Speaking well is doable. All we have to do is determine that we too want to be better. The opportunities are vast. So few people are any good. We are not entering a massively overpopulated world of pro presenters where it's hard to get a speaking spot. Quite the reverse. And therein lies the opportunity. Welcome back to this weekly edition every Monday of the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show. I'm your host, Dr. Greg Story, your corporate coaching and training guy, the president of Dale Carnegie Training Japan, and two-time best-selling author of Japan Sales Mastery and my newest book, Japan Business Mastery. We are bringing the show to you from our high-performance center here in Akasaka, in Minato-ku, the business center of Tokyo. Why the cutting edge? In this show, we are looking at the critical areas for success in business in Japan. We want to help advance everyone's thinking so that we can all be at the forefront, at the cutting edge of how to flourish here in this market. This is episode number 145, and we are talking about what the pro public speakers do. So let's get going. When you see someone do a very good presentation, your faith in public speaking humanity is restored. There are so many poor examples of people killing their personal and professional brands with poor public speaking skills. It is refreshing to see talks done well. It is not that hard really if you know what you are doing and if you rehearse and practice. This is where the majority of lousy, boring and uninspiring speakers trip up. They don't rehearse or practice. Instead, they just unload on their poor, unsuspecting audience. Here's a pro hint. Never practice on your audience. The global CEO of a major pharma company jetted into town recently and spoke at a Chamber of Commerce event. The presentation was well structured and flowed in a way that was easy to follow. The slides were professional and clear. He spoke fluently, wasn't reading from any script, and instead was talking about the key points up on the screen. When he got to the Q&A, he repeated the question so that everyone could hear it, and then he answered it. He did that while addressing the entire audience rather than just speaking to the inquirer. When he did not have the information referred to in a question, he admitted it straight up without trying to fudge it. This is not an admission of weakness. Rather, it builds trust and credibility. I doubt he did any rehearsal for that audience because it was a stump speech he had given so many times he was entirely comfortable with the content. Could he have done better? Yes. He could have added more stories into the presentation. A few vignettes from the exciting world of white lab coats where they were developing new medicines to save humanity would have been good. He could have delivered it with a bit more passion. It was professional, but came across as a stump speech. He was supremely comfortable delivering it. And that is one issue we have to be alert to. When we are too comfortable, we can sometimes slip ourselves into cruise control mode. We should keep upping the ante each occasion to try and see how much further we can push ourselves as presenters. Another function I attended was an industry awards event, and the main VIP guest made some remarks before announcing the winners. Humour is very hard to get right. For every professional comedian we see on television, there are thousands waiting tables and trying to break into the industry. When you see humour done well by a public speaker, you are impressed. You need to have material that is funny for a start. Then you have to be able to deliver it so that many people will laugh. This sounds easy, but as professional comedians know, the timing of the delivery is key. So are the pauses and the weighting of certain key words. It has to be delivered fluently, so no ums and ahs, no hesitations, no mangling of words. Getting the facial expressions to match what is being said is also tricky. Our humorous VIP was delivering some lines that he had used a number of times before, so he knew his material worked. It is always good when big shots are self-depreciating. We can more easily identify with them when they don't come across as, taking themselves too seriously. I am good and I know it. Doesn't work so well with the rest of us. How do you become humorous as a speaker? Find out more. We come back from the break. If you want to become a fully competent and confident presenter, then do the High Impact Presentations course. We are all being judged when we speak, be it in the internal team meeting or in a public environment, be it the big bosses, clients, or an industry audience. Everyone is evaluating us. Don't blow it. Get the best training on the planet. Do the High Impact Presentations course now in either Japanese or English. Are you doing business with Japan? Do you really know how things work? Japan Business Mastery provides the answers. Do you have the right networks and know how to create them? Do you know how to get on the same wavelength with Japanese buyers? Do you know what being trustworthy looks like from the Japanese perspective? Japan Business Mastery is based on more than 30 years' experience in Japan and will become your go-to guide. Want to succeed in Japan? Buy Japan Business Mastery now. Welcome back. Where do we acquire our humorous material? We steal it. Our speaker had probably heard those jokes somewhere else and just topped and tailed them for this event. Very cleverly, he made them sound personal, as if these incidents had really happened to him. This is important in order to build a connection with the punters in the audience. So, when you attend an event and you hear someone make a good joke or tell a humorous story, don't just laugh and reach for another Chardonnay. Quickly write it down and later start using it yourself. The secret, though, is to practice that humorous telling on small audiences to test you have the delivery just right. The cadence is important, and that takes practice. I would guess our speaker had told those jokes many times before. It is fresh for us, but for him it was well within his range of capability. This is what comedians do. They introduce new material in small venues, filter out what doesn't work, and then they bring it to the big audience on the big stage with the best gags. We should do the same. Another place where we can find humour is in what we say that makes an audience laugh. When I was returning to Japan in 1992 as a diplomat and as a trade commissioner, I was called upon to do a lot of public speaking in Japanese. I began with constructing jokes in Japanese that I thought were humorous. This is a pretty bold step because I had no track record in being funny in English, let alone in Japanese. These jokes of my own crafting all bombed completely. However, I would say something not meaning to be funny, and the Japanese audience would laugh. I took note of that reaction, and I realized that was a joke. I would incorporate that into my other talks. Over a long period of time and a lot of speeches, I built up a stock of these humorous sprinklings of pixie dust that worked with Japanese audiences. It was refreshing to see two competent speakers in action recently, and it is certainly a skill that all of us can improve in. There are some simple basics of speaking we need to concentrate on: prepare, rehearse, learn, repeat. If we don't, we could be damaging our personal reputation. The Cutting Edge Japan Business Show is here to help you succeed in Japan. Subscribe on YouTube, share with your family, friends, and colleagues. Become a regular. Thank you for watching this episode, and remember, hit the subscribe button. Our website details are on screen now: enjapan.dalecarnegie.com. It's awesome value, so check it out. Please leave me some feedback on YouTube. I would love to know how the show helped and what other topics you're interested in for me to cover. Remember, I'm here as a free resource to help you, so just tell me how I can help you best. You might also enjoy my other weekly shows for podcast Mondays for the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show. On Tuesdays, the Presentations Japan series. Wednesdays for the Sales Japan series. Thursdays for the Leadership Japan series. And Fridays for the Japan Business Master Show. And Saturdays for Japan's top business interviews. You get these wherever you have your podcast. Also on Fridays, I'm releasing my other TV show, the Japan Business Mastery Show, and on Saturdays I release Japan's top business interviews, both of those on YouTube. In episode 146, we are talking about chasing buyer no replies. Find out more about that next week. So, yoroshiku onegai itashimasu. Please join me for the next episode of the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show. We are here to help you. We've only got one direction in mind for you and your business, and that is up.